Okay, what's going on? So in this video, I'm going to be going over two of my trades between today and yesterday. The first trade was on CTXR and the other one was SMTK. All right, let's show my screw ups first. So the first trade I went on with was CTXR, and I saw right in the morning a nice buy signal after the stock ended up dropping right out the gate from it reverse split. So before the price was around like 16, 15 cents, and it dropped a good like 20% in the first uh, half hour of the market open. And so with that, I was just pretty confident that after this first initial drop, I should see a nice bounce, hopefully to the upside here. Didn't really get that. Ended up fading off. So my first position was around in this price in the 360s. Um, From there, it just chopped around in this channel the whole entire time. After we get low of day, in the first 30 minutes was at 329. So buying any price under 350 would have been a safe bet. I was already in basically the top of that, so I should have waited until the low of the first 30 minutes before I bought. That's my first mistake. Second mistake was knowing if there was going to be a reverse split happening, um, and which then happened today, which the stock went from 180 million float, divide that by 25, and the 1 to 25 reverse split. So now the float today was worth, well, it's 7 million. So all the volume I was looking for in the float rotation yesterday, um, that wasn't really there. It takes a lot to move 180 million float stock. Today it was just 7 million float. So yeah, do the math. So I was already in at around like 370-ish, getting chopped around here for quite some time before around 1:20 p.m. I got my first pop above and had pretty decent volume on this pop. So this was at 372. Again, I'm pretty much break even at that point. Just chopped around here, and I just kind of told myself, okay, we got a low volume break right in this area. So maybe we'll start to see something to the upside. It's been consolidating pretty well the entire day, and it failed again. So I was like, okay, I can't really take any more of this. So the second I saw it kind of just come up again over and was up about 2% from my entry, I just I sold half, but then the stock kind of just faded, and I just kind of got out before it dropped again because I just didn't know if it was going to come all the way here to 329, and I didn't want to see my position down 11%. So I think I did the right thing by selling a good share amount of shares right here at this time and again here. So I think I ended up being net down $50 on that trade. Naturally, the reverse split happens today and has a nice pretty much it has a nice gap and crap reversal. So I missed this one. I should have just kept my eyes on it or even just held some as it went up 80% from where I initially bought yesterday. Knowing that the reverse split was going to happen, I should have been uh, smarter about that play. So we get that jump of about almost 10% gap from the previous day close. We see that crap. We see the reversal happen here. So we have about a 6% risk. And into the close from that 6% risk, it ends up making a high of 424 into the close today. So that's 56%. Um, yeah, really kicking myself for that one. The other play I had today, which I learned a lot from as well, was SMTK. So yesterday it had a pretty good run. If you see on the daily chart, um, you can see it had a nice first green day, and today had a nice gap. So I should have been looking for the reversal again after the dump in the morning after 10 a.m., learning my lesson from yesterday. And so from there, I made sure I waited until the first 30 minutes passed. And so we have our low of day right here. So I did that right at least. And this is going to be the marking the high of day. So we're risking this channel down here to then risk to high of day as our profit risk reward ratio. So the silly thing that I did was I saw this spike. Oh, sorry, I should be using the 5 minute because that's what I used in actual time. So I saw this spike at 10.25 and I was like, okay, well, I know not to buy the top of the reversal, which it already reversed down here. So this already wasn't a good entry. But so I ended up buying down here and around the 630s. So I was pretty much risking 630 to 565 in hopes to make 23%. So that ratio would have been like 2.3 to 1, which is pretty solid. So from there, I ended up seeing myself down 5% in the position. Almost thought of getting shaken out there, but knowing my risk was down to 565, I held strong. This lasted about a good hour of doing absolutely nothing. And when you see it on the 1 minute chart with the volume just diminishing and not doing a single thing, I was getting kind of frustrated with how the play was going out. And the first thing I did was sell my position once I kind of broke into the once I was up 2% of my overall account. So yeah, I kind of sold most of my position into this and then into this part right here at the 650s. And of course, the second I sold, it went up another 17%. Um, so yeah, those were two difficult plays to watch happen. Um, had a good idea and good plan on this second one as opposed to yesterday's in CTXR. But yeah, overall, a lot to learn from. I think I did a nice job waiting the first 30 minutes, but could have done a lot better by could have risked, around 6% to make that 29% instead of risking 10% to make that 23%. So it's all about risk reward and ratios there. And I probably wouldn't even have played this play if I was waiting to get a price near the low of day. As we see, like once we get this play right here and I missed it, this would have been the only entry to get in. And I definitely didn't do that. So a lot to learn from, like I said. And what do you think of these plays so far?
Which one?
On the SMTK, what did you think of the overall play? I mean, I should have, I did good on this one as opposed to the other one because I didn't wait the first 30 minutes of the market, waiting for the 30-minute low of day. I didn't do that on the last one. I did it on this one. So that was a good sign right there. Um, you know, when I did see a signal, it's a good takeaway out of it, I would say. When I did see a signal, I bought the bottom of the candle. So I'm doing the right things, just in the wrong places. Like I should have, you know, bought the bottom of this candle or re-entered when it hit the same price as the bottom of that candle of the reversal, which it gave you nice opportunities there in this consolidation phase, before trying to reclaim the open of the day. So it was rough. Do you have any questions as to maybe like why I thought I should do this or um
No, no, no. It makes sense because
yeah.
as the market opened, it dropped, which is a good thing, which we want.
Oh, it's
Then
great.
it
Yeah,
start,
it dropped
yeah,
like
it dropped.
25% in the first 30
Yeah,
minutes. It's crazy.
that is good. And it started going up and dropped a little, and it went all the way up.
Yeah. And the great thing about this one was it had
Mm.
pre-market volume, that was relative to the float. Like the float was for SMTK was 1.3 million. That means you're trying to get a float rotation of at least like 1 to 3. Um,
Yeah.
so, had let's see.
So it never crossed five,
Yeah, in the
or
pre-market, it already had a million volume, and then the first half hour it had half a million volume, and it was, it had at least one float rotation in there. So it was in between 1 and 3, like in this whole move right here. So I was in the right play based on the
that
float
is good. Yeah.
rotation, not on yesterday's before, like I said, the float was 180 million on this day. And then on the reverse split 1 to 25, it went from needing 180 million to this on that day to this day, it needing 7 million volume to just get in that category of 1 to 3, which it ended up doing, and is why it went up from bottom to top like 50, 60%. So the volume is important, but relative to the float, which I'm proud that I did a few things right on this entry. And um, like I said, just needed to be a little bit more patient um, in real time. After you see this drop, you're just already going to assume it's going to go to this high of day or even the open of the day, which was 762. And man, yeah, it almost reached that open of the day. Just missed it a few times. So I mean, as long as you're selling into the strength as it's going up, you can't really
Yeah,
lose.
that is good. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely should have been more patient. And as long as you're tracking your trades, you're going to end up being aware of where you're buying and where it ends up coming down to. So if you know you're always buying um, with a 10% risk on your trade and the stock comes down 5%, you know, maybe wait another percent, two, three, or four um, before entering, just to, so your risk reward ratios are just a bit better. So with that, I'm going to be doing that on my next play, making sure I'm closer to low of day. And if anything else, I'm going to be entering in the future prices. I'm going to make sure I'm entering under this first reversal plays price. So around 11 a.m., it went under that price of what this reversal close was. So yeah, around 597, and entering at 597 versus 631 is would have been an extra like 5.5% of profit, which is all the world in growing your account. Because our goal at the moment is just to get 2% a day. So
Yeah.
luckily with my horrible entry, I made that 2% on the account and sold on the way up and made that on the day. Um, you know, winning back my loss from yesterday, certainly, and a small loss that I had on Friday. So that's what these plays are about, cutting your losses quickly. And, you know, if you do it right, you can more than surpass the losses and be net profitable every single day and every single week. No question about that.
Right.
Um, yeah, I think just one interesting play just before we end the session here. Um, there were some great plays out there today, but some tricky ones too. I think one of the first ones I saw my eyes on in the morning, but it just too choppy for me. I was gonna buy it right in the morning. It was Zen. Oh, Zena. Yep. I saw this reversal in the morning and I almost pulled the trigger right here and was gonna risk this low of the pre-market, which was like a 4% risk. And then it went up 25%. That would have been nice.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then you see this huge dump. This is why you don't trade in the pre-market. That then you see this huge dump right in the morning, ends up falling 33%. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so 33% is pretty crazy. The first 30
yeah. And
minutes,
and and it got back up.
a little bit, yep.
Yeah.
The first 30-minute low was around this price. And you see some good volume come back in for the buyers. It kind of chops around here, tries to come back out. I thought that was going to be the move. I would have missed that. Give you another entry. And even
Mhm.
if you bought this first reversal near a low of day, it still wasn't a low of day reversal. So I wasn't really too interested in it. But yeah, so you want to search different time frames for those. Um, so you get one near low of day here, which would have been a solid entry, risking this because it had some nice pops right after. If you see on the 3 minute, perfect entry right here. You get the reversal right here. It pulls back a little bit, and then from there you're only risking like 2-3% to make almost 12, 13. So 4 to 1. That's even better. And in such a short period of time. And then the 5 minute chart, there's some good plays here. If you hold too long, you get shaken out. You can re-enter and then risking that for like 2%, and it goes 31%. So it's 15 to 1 right there. So the ones with the most volume in the pre-market could shake you out in the beginning, if you're hoping for a big move. But if you do it right, you can get in the second time and certainly make double, triple, quadruple whatever you lost, and then some on that upside play on the 5 minute chart. So yeah, sticking to the 5 minute chart, looking at bigger time frames for reversals, um, for more conviction, and yeah, just being patient in the morning, waiting for the stock to shake out first, and keeping those stop losses tight. And
Yeah.
I think that's really it. Like I said, CTR XR was that reverse split really got me. I should have just been patient and traded that today. I should have been aware of the reverse split and not been in the trade at all. Glad I didn't lose too heavily on that yesterday. And then, won back all that and then some on today's horrible entry on SMTK. So I got to stay where the volume is, wait for those reversals, and yeah, just being patient. And was it 2, 3, 5% a day will get
Yeah.
you in no time. So yeah, there's nothing really else. I mean, there were so many plays today. I think it was just overall supposed to be the market made it easy for you, and I just made it hard on myself. Like even this one right here. Wow. Ocean Power just gave you one opportunity to get in. First 10%. It's up 60 in the after hours. So many opportunities.
Yeah.
Even this one right here, you could just get in here, risk the low of these candles on this consolidation phase. And it was like risking 1 or 2% to make, well, if you didn't want to be, if you're impatient or didn't want to be greedy, it kind of gave it to you right away. So, yeah, I don't know. It was just an overall, I got beat up by the market, even though it just was handing people plays today. But the thing is, you learn more from your losses than you do from the wins. And there's not a whole lot of other places for me to go than making a pretty decent profit in every play going forward. So I'm excited for the next video I make because I know I'm going to do pretty solidly. I'm pretty confident in the strategies and the plays that I'm in. So I'm just looking forward to that next one. So the market better be careful tomorrow. Yeah, all these plays, sympathy plays. Like I said, even this one earlier, VC moved 80% in the first hour. Pretty remarkable there. Gap crap reversal under VWAP, and then risking 3 to 4%, and it goes to 80% just like that. So that's like, just under um, like 30 to 1, 25 to 1. That's just, I was gonna buy it in this area too, and I already thought I
Mm-hmm.
missed it. And at that point, you're risking 10% to make 67%, so 6 to 1. I mean, a whole lot better than what I did earlier. So probably should have just taken that play. Um, yeah. Wow, tough day though. Can't wait for tomorrow. And yeah, just gotta be transparent about the plays. Um, Small losses, bigger wins today, even on bad entries. So, is there anything else you want me to go over, um, or discuss before we end the call? I think, float rotation. Um, we can go over that. I don't know if you know a ton about that just yet. Do you want me to go over float rotation briefly?
Yeah.
So, float rotation, if you just look at, like, for instance, SMTK has a 1.23 million float. Um, yeah, with that, I kind of just take the pre-market volume, which I think on SMTK was, let me just go back. I think it was like 2 million. So we're trying to look for a stock that has around 1 to 3x the float in volume. So I think in the first, yeah, we get 220 here, 800 there. Yeah, so we already have like the float rotation. in volume right in this moment. So this is totally a tradable stock. Um, right in the morning, you know that, and then you get even more volume before the reversal. It gave you multiple chances to get in on this reversal properly, and I definitely messed it up. So got to be more patient. So yeah, like I said, um, I'll just show you a copy of how I calculate the float rotation. Um, so you can see these are the stocks I was trading, even these ones. The float was 1.93 for a Z, E, and A, and you're looking for a float around, um, you know, 1 to 3. 3, I usually look to get out. 5, I'm usually getting out. And you can see like this one already was sort of overcrowded. So that's why it was so choppy. SMTK was like, it was all right, most of that day. So that's why I knew at the time when I got in the reversal that it was the right stock for me to get into, as opposed to yesterday when I was trading SRTX. That float was 180 million and it only had 130 million halfway through the day. So you knew it wasn't going to get there. So yeah, I mean, just because it's low float doesn't mean it's gapped up in the morning, doesn't mean it's the right stock unless it has like that rotation. So that means when you're given a float of 100 million, there has to be the shares have to be rotated one time with 100 million volume, so passed around 1 to 3 times before considering or people starting to consider putting it on their watch. Um, in addition, you need to have a pretty low market cap too, as these market caps are also what makes the stocks move. And then I look for gappers, 5, 10%. So overall, again, the market looks promising. You see a lot of after hours plays today. And yeah, just not a whole lot of mistakes left to be made on my end before starting to make some big plays. But it's all about like taking percentages and, you know, scaling out properly as the stock rises to make sure you're consistently profitable each day. But yeah, that's just really it. I think it was just a long day for me with work and with trading. And I'm just looking forward to tomorrow, really, before the holiday. So yeah, that's just it. We're gonna go over another one, I think, later in the week on one of these days off, probably Friday or even tomorrow. It depends how much time I have with work and everything. But yeah, some good plays overall. And again, I'm just really kicking myself for how I handled, yes, making some corrections, but leaving a lot of profit on the table. So glad I put myself in the right position to win. Just got in a little too eagerly and then got out a little too early. But we know I'm putting myself in the right plays. Just I think after taking 2 losses Friday and Monday, small ones anyway, it kind of shakes your confidence. But I came back today swinging and just got to correct that form a little bit. So all right, that's just it. Yeah, and then we'll just correct um, those mistakes for tomorrow, and I'm sure tomorrow's video or the next day, what have you, will will be a big win. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, just I'll see you all guys in the next video. Yesh, thank you again for coming in and
Yeah,
reviewing trades with me. And as always, don't be afraid to ask questions. It's a big learning process for everyone watching, and I'm certainly on my journey, kind of in you know, that middle phase where I'm not a beginner, but certainly not you know, a guru. So just trying to share my knowledge and grow from each step of the way. So yeah, I mean, tomorrow's
yeah.
another day.
Thanks for explaining.
Oh yeah, no problem. All right. Look forward to the next one. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun, but a long one. All right. See you guys later.